Hello, my name is Lorna Yates and I am a Food Law Advisor in the EU-UK Regulatory Affairs team here at Camden BRI. In this short video, I'm going to take you through some of the key points on official controls for importing food products into the EU and Great Britain. I'm going to share my screen with you now and take you through some slides. Official controls has become increasingly important to many of our members and non-member clients since the end of the EU exit transition period. This is the legislation required for products, in this case food and drink products, to be imported into the EU and the UK. In this short presentation, I will aim to highlight some of the key areas that have changed, the legislation that is relevant, and any pertinent official guidance. What are official controls? Official controls ensure that products entering into the EU or UK comply with the relevant official legislation. EU official controls do not apply to products being moved throughout the EU, but as of the end of the EU exit transition period, when the UK became a third country, official controls applied to products being exported from the UK to the EU. So that is as of the 1st of January 2021. Controls also apply to products coming into the UK from the EU. However, the enforcement of these controls are subject to a series of transition periods. This is a very complex area of legislation and there is a lot of guidance available. DEFRA have published detailed guidance on each of the areas I am going to briefly touch upon. As a team, we are familiar with the legislation and guidance, but do not currently offer support on completing an export health certificate. For questions regarding the completion or access of an export health certificate, you can contact the Animal and Plant Health Agency in Great Britain or Department of Agriculture, Environment and Rural Affairs in Northern Ireland. There is a great deal of legislation concerning official controls, which sits alongside the key EU harmonised food hygiene legislation, Regulation 852/2004, and food hygiene for products of animal origin, Regulation 853/2004. There is also new official controls legislation within the EU. Regulation 2017/625 and associated implementing legislation, which has brought about new rules for importers into the EU and recent changes to controls applying to composite foods. Please note that all EU harmonised legislation, which was in force as of 11 p.m. on the 31st of December 2020, was retained within UK national law, and we also have our own national legislation on official controls in the UK. One of the key requirements of the legislation is that products of animal origin being imported into the EU and UK are accompanied by an export health certificate, which needs to be approved by an official veterinarian or local authority inspector in the country of origin. An export health certificate is required when exporting products of animal origin from Great Britain to the EU or Northern Ireland, or if that product of animal origin is transiting through the EU or Northern Ireland. Currently, the following products are listed as being prohibited and therefore cannot be exported from Great Britain to the EU. They include chilled mincemeat from red meat, chilled meat preparations such as raw sausages, mincemeat from poultry and ratite or game bird mechanically separated meat, raw milk from TB herds, ungraded eggs, and composite products containing dairy from unpasteurised milk. There are also requirements which apply to certain products of non-animal origin on a risk assessment basis. Therefore, any high-risk products of non-animal origin may be subject to import controls when entering the EU or UK. Annex 1 of Implementing Regulation 2019/1793 lists products from certain countries which are considered high risk and the reason why, such as a particular contaminant of concern, for example, peanuts from Bolivia, goji berries from China, or pistachios from the US. These products are then subject to further import checks and need to be pre-notified of their arrival on traces for the EU or IPAFs for the UK. There are further requirements to import other high-risk foods of non-animal origin, including those listed in Annex 2 of the same regulation, or any compound foods made up of more than 20% of those high-risk foods listed. There are also requirements for any foods listed in Annex 1 of Regulation 2020-1158, high-risk foods of non-animal origin following the Chernobyl power station incident. Composite food products are food products containing both processed products of animal origin and products of plant origin. Import requirements into Great Britain for composite foods have not changed, as is the case for the EU. Import requirements into Great Britain apply to composite products containing any processed meat product or half or more of their content of other processed products of animal origin, such as milk, egg and fishery products. Annex 2 of Decision 2007-275 lists some composite products and foodstuffs which are not subject to veterinary checks when imported into Great Britain, such as confectionery listing containing less than 50% of processed dairy and egg products. The new EU rules to import a composite product applied from the 21st of April this year and changed the export health certificate requirements for composite foods entering the EU and the composite foods that require either an export health certificate or a private attestation. The old export health certificates can be used for entry to the EU up until August this year. Any composite products containing meat products except gelatin, collagen and highly refined products are subject to border control post checks or points of entry for Northern Ireland and require an export health certificate. Chilled or frozen composite products containing processed dairy or egg or fish require border control post checks and an export health certificate. Shelf-stable composite products containing processed dairy, egg or fish, where the dairy or egg components meet certain heat treatment requirements, require a private attestation and border control post checks. If the composite product is listed in the EU's list of lower risk products, then it is not subject to border control post checks, but will still require a private attestation and may be subject to further checks in the EU or Northern Ireland. There is DEFRA guidance on the new EU requirements for exporting a composite product from Great Britain to the EU, including a useful decision tree which helps determine if your product is a composite food that is subject to these new EU requirements. There is also European Commission guidance which helps companies determine which requirements they need to comply with if importing their products into the EU. There is one particular area of concern for a number of manufacturers who import products into the EU. The legislation states that where a composite product is shelf-stable and contains dairy or egg, the dairy or egg is subject to a minimum heat treatment requirement. For dairy, this is a heat treatment equivalent to UHT or sterilisation, and therefore composite products such as chocolate or biscuits that contain pasteurised dairy ingredients are no longer permitted to be imported into the EU according to this new legislation. However, the EU have recognised that this poses a challenge and there are interim requirements in place until the legislation can be changed. Please note the DEFRA guidance for these interim requirements. When importing products from the EU into Great Britain, there are a number of implementation periods for full official control checks. From the 1st of October 2021, products of animal origin will need to be accompanied by an export health certificate and pre-notified by the importer using IPATHs. High-risk food of non-animal origin will need to be pre-notified by the importer using IPATHs. From the 1st of January 2022, products of animal origin must enter Great Britain at an established point of entry with an appropriate border control post. For high-risk food of non-animal origin, pre-notification on IPATHs must take place at least one working day in advance of the shipment, and it must enter through a border control post. From the 1st of March 2022, there are changes for imports of live animals, including horses. Food products sent between Great Britain and Northern Ireland are subject to import controls. Export health certificates are required for products of animal origin, and composite foods will be subject to the new EU requirements. There is a movement assistance scheme in place, meaning that a trader moving food products from Great Britain to Northern Ireland does not need to pay for some inspections and certificates. An arrangement is also in place which allows authorised traders such as supermarkets and their trusted suppliers to move some goods without the need for official certification until the 1st of October 2021. Thank you for your attention. Please get in touch using the regulatory advice email if you have any questions.